Have you ever wondered if systems might make your business run a little more smoothly? Well, if that's ever even crossed your mind for a split second, then you're going to want to tune into today's episode because I am talking with Jackie, who is a systems and automations expert, and we are unpacking all the different things that you need to consider before setting up a system, and then why you might want to set that system up and how it's going to serve you in the long run. So if that sounds good, join us now. Welcome to the Food Bloggers Table. Pull up a chair for authentic conversations and actionable advice from fellow food bloggers and industry experts. I'm your host, Jen, and I create custom food blogs designed to earn top-tier ad income. Join us now at the table as we break bread and build brands. Systematizing your business is, I think, essential no matter what kind of business you have. But in the food blogging space, it's all about recipes. Recipes are the bread and butter, no pun intended, but that was nice the way that worked out, of a food blogger's business. So as a systems specialist, what types of things would you suggest to somebody who says, I have got to get a handle on the 500, 1,000, 10,000 recipes I've got on my site, but I don't even know where to start?
The first thing I would actually suggest is to organize your recipes in some kind of system, obviously. And I'm an Airtable and automation expert, so my go-to is Airtable, of course. And Airtable is similar to a spreadsheet, but it is so much more than a spreadsheet. And you can add automation to it. So that's where I would go naturally into organizing your recipes, firstly, into a system that you can actually sort and filter. And say you have 50 brownie recipes. If you are looking for only brownie recipes, it's really difficult to go and do that if you've got a spreadsheet of, say, 1,000 recipes. But with Airtable, you can actually get very granular with what you're looking for. So if you've got it in that kind of system, it's much better and easier for you to find what you're looking for, but also to organize your whole recipe box.
A lot of the clients that I work with, one of the first things we do when we're talking about a website redesign is we look at just the structure of their website, how their recipes are organized, because we're thinking from a reader's perspective, but it's just as important as the business owner yourself to know what type of recipes you have. And when you start getting into the hundreds and thousands of recipes, I don't care how good of a memory you have, there are going to be recipes that you've forgotten you had. So maybe it's chocolate chip brownie recipes, and you've got this mint chocolate chip one that you forgot about that's over here in its own little land being orphaned because you just forgot it was there. And so I think having a system like Airtable gives you the option to be able to find what you're looking for and possibly look for it in different ways. How does filtering work in Airtable?
This is how I envision it. You'd have your whole list of recipes, and each recipe will have its corresponding link to your blog. So we can put that in Airtable, and then we would have our categories. The categories can be color coded. So we could have brownies and other kinds of cakes and muffins and whatever. And then you can do a second category. So you could have overarching categories like bread, pasta. So you can actually sort and filter by these categories. And there's a specific sorting and filtering feature in Airtable where you can say, I want you to show me only sourdough bread recipes, not my other bread recipes. Or you can say something like, I am looking for recipes that use pasta and tomatoes. So you can get really granular with the filtering so that when you are looking for something very specific and you know that you have that specific thing, you can find it.
And that's the whole point of systems. Systems give you that ability. The thing that I always struggle with, whenever I want to create a new system, I'm like, ugh, this is such a terrible ROI right now because there's so much front loading that goes into a system. You have to spend the time to set it up properly from the get-go so that over time, that filtering system is working for you and you're not working for the filtering system. So if I'm coming in there and I'm going, all right, I need a Valentine's Day brownie recipe, you don't have to go to 8 spreadsheets. So it's not, this is my spreadsheet for all my holiday recipes. Here's my spreadsheet for all of my brownie recipes. Now I'm looking between 2 spreadsheets and I've got 85 recipes. I'm like, oh, okay, I know it's in here somewhere, but then I can't remember the name of the recipe. So now I'm filtering filtering through two spreadsheets that don't give me the information I need, as opposed to one dynamic system. The same things that we're doing to create a good user experience on a website is the same system that we're going to use and should be using for our recipes.
You are building a system within the website for the client facing to be able to sort and filter. Why would you not do that for your back end of your business? So that
That's so
you,
true.
as the business owner, can go in and sort and filter through the information in your business. So for food bloggers, it's recipes. For other bloggers, it's their blog articles. For other people, it might be business information or client information. So you need to build the system for your business as much as you're building it for client facing.
You're exactly right. Food bloggers that I've worked with, they want to create this beautiful user experience, but they don't give themselves the same user experience on the back end. So you want to think of your business in two ways: the client or customer or reader facing experience, but then also the back end experience that you're interacting with and manipulating on a daily basis. That's the whole point of systems. It's to set something up that's going to make things easier. And the more content you have, the more robust your system needs to be to give you that same ability to filter, just like you did when you had 5 or 10 articles on your site. You need that same easy, quick functionality at 500 or 1,000 recipes on your site.
Yes. And what if, say, for argument's sake, something's outdated and you need to update it, but you can't find the page on your site where this recipe lives that you need to update because something's changed? If you've got it all in a system, you can filter and you can find that recipe really quickly.
We have a touch point at every level of our business usually. And it's not until we typically have a problem that we really start to look at our systems. And the idea is setting the system up before you have a problem. Let's say your website went down and this has happened, and perhaps your host has recovered your site, but you're like, wait a minute, I know we're missing some pages. Well, which pages are you missing? Out of 500 recipes, how are you going to know which pages you're missing? You're not going to. And that's the value, in my opinion, at the most basic foundational level. That is the value of a system. Having a system that has your recipes and all of that content that is literally your livelihood basically protected. It's almost like an insurance policy for your recipes.
Yeah, I agree. And people can argue that you take backups of websites and stuff like that. But are you, as the owner of the business, going to go and filter through database backup? No. You want something user friendly to go and search for the recipes that, say, are missing or whatever you're looking for. So while we do take backups of websites, you would have to get a web developer or a web designer or your website person to go and look. And then you still might not be able to recover information that you've lost.
Exactly. At the most basic level, it's an insurance policy, but on a much higher plane, it is a system that is going to serve you for the rest of the time that you're in business. And if you were to ever sell your business, if you can say, I have an entire system, every recipe is in it, what kind of value? That's not just perceived value. That is going to be actual cash money value in your hand when you sell this blog.
Absolutely. Systems are what will make your business sellable. Businesses without systems are not sellable because they can't be transferred. The work, the way you do the work cannot be transferred over.
Really, when you think about it, there is no time like the present to start setting up a system. What would you suggest to people who are like, but this isn't a good ROI?
So what I usually say to people, firstly, you should always be thinking of setting up your business to be sellable, even if you're not going to sell it, even if you were never going to sell it and you were just going to close it down. Because if you think of your business as a sellable item, then you are going to realize the ROI of setting up systems, creating SOPs, having the business be able to, at the drop of a hat, be handed over to somebody else that can actually take over and do what you do. Simply because you might not sell your business, but what if you get sick? What if you wanted to take an extended vacation? What if you needed to take 6 months away from your business? What then? So that is where the ROI of having systems comes in. And then what about the time ROI?
Oh, wow.
You can't
Yes.
always think of ROI in terms of money. Definitely with systems, you've got time ROI. I can guarantee you that by setting up a system. Imagine you're a recipe blogger, you're looking for a recipe, and you have to go into the back end of your website to go and look for it. How long is that going to take you?
Let's just say it takes you 6 minutes to go in, find the recipe, to be able to link it up for all of your related posts posts or whatever for that particular recipe. You set up an Airtable system and it takes you 5 minutes. You're thinking it's only a minute. Okay, that's one singular task. Let's say there are 5 recipes. Now we're going into a multiplier effect. Now that's 5 minutes that it's saving me every time I write an article and have to link out my posts or whatever. What you start realizing is it shaves literally 1 minute off the 15 tasks that you do in an article. That's 15 minutes. Again, doesn't sound like a lot until you go, all right, let's say you post an article 5 days a week. What's 15 times 5? Okay, hold on. I don't math well. Give me
I
a
don't math
second.
well either.
No, it's an hour and 15 minutes in a 5-day week.
Yeah.
In a week, you have saved an hour and 15 minutes that you can now devote to other money making activities. An hour is a vast amount of time to an entrepreneur. So again, if we're talking about a system only saving you 1 minute, you're like, ah, that seems so useless, like a waste of my time. It's the compounding effect, that multiplier effect to having a system that changes the recipe game. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Food Bloggers Table. I'm your host, Jennifer Holt, and I look forward to serving you in the next episode.